not paying enough attention to the girl group you currently have while simultaneously planning on debuting another girl group? Well, that's just genius.
깽깽 코코투.
Hi, welcome. So today I wanted to tackle the very controversial topic of YG's new girl group and why it's actually a genius idea and why you guys are actually clowns for trying to boycott this. But before we get into the juicy details, I'm going to stop you right there to remind you that I do not, in fact, purchase subscribers, though my view to subscriber count is getting really concerning at this point. But you can help bridge that gap by helping the algorithm by doing things like subscribing, liking, and commenting on my videos, and perhaps sharing them with friends you might not have. I'm going to start off by saying something really controversial. If YG is actually going to debut a new girl group while neglecting Blackpink, that is actually a really smart move, and here's why. YG is notorious for creating this sense of scarcity, and this sense of scarcity is what is keeping his company going. I keep referring to YG as he because I picture YG as just the man, you know? And I know he kind of like left the company, but I have a feeling that he's still very much present in major decisions. And I don't think he's actually gone, but I digress. So yes, the sense of scarcity is really what is keeping YG going. The more you are told that you can't have something, the more you actually want it. It's just avian science, don't at me. But this is actually really smart because no matter how many times YG pushes back Blackpink's comebacks, no matter how many times we see issues of mistreatment come about, no matter how many times we actually just don't get to see anything from Blackpink, it actually doesn't really backfire in any significant way. Because once they actually do make their comeback, it is going to blow up. Since we've really been in this constant state of need for pretty much the whole year and then some. Yes, I do believe that there is a point of no return. There is a point where if Blackpink doesn't make a comeback within a certain amount of time, I do think they will lose a lot of fans, but I don't think we've really reached that point as of yet. And I think YG knows this. So when Blackpink does have their comeback, even if it's terrible, even if it's not your cup of tea, fans are going to eat that shit up because they're just going to be so happy that anything was even released at all. And from what I understand, YG plans on debuting this girl group after Blackpink have their comeback. And if that's not the smartest thing I've ever heard, I don't know what is. Because he can effectively, and I say effectively because he has done this before with the effectivity. What's the word? Effectiveness. Wow. He has done this before effectively. He has profited off the clout and the fame of his previous groups to launch a new one, i.e. 21 and Blackpink. And there's nothing inherently wrong with this. I feel like a lot of companies do this, but I do feel like YG does this in a very extreme way. And also, if you're going to add mistreatment into the mix of this equation, then it definitely rubs people the wrong way. Before Blackpink debuted, of course, there was the issue of YG saying that he wanted a pretty version of 21. And now with this girl group, there is this issue of, well, YG is like not giving Blackpink any comebacks, and that's kind of an issue. He always seems to do or say dumb shit right before a debut. And the madder we are, the more the group actually is going to succeed. It's all a marketing strategy, and we're all falling for it because we're that desperate. The angrier we are, the more we are going to talk about it. And the more we talk about it, the less money YG actually needs to spend on promotion because he's created this perfect system that is effectively just doing it for him. And spoiler alert, that system happens to be us. Because at the end of the day, no matter how angry we are, we will inevitably welcome this group into our hearts with open arms because we are inevitably going to see bits of 21 in them and bits of Blackpink in them. Though, on that note, I have to say that I have seen a lot of people say they want to boycott this group because Blackpink's being mistreated. How could YG debut a new girl group while mistreating Blackpink, not giving them a comeback? How is YG going to put resources into this new girl group while neglecting Blackpink? Here's the thing. You guys are starting to sound like second gen stans, and it's honestly embarrassing at this point. Can't relate. Which brings us to our second point, and I'm going to put this as bluntly as possible. Boycotting this new group is dumb and it's not fair to the new group and is likely going to do very little in the grand scheme of it all. And again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but this was literally the case with 21 and Blackpink. People were mad at Blackpink for existing despite YG being the one who said the creepy things, despite YG being the one who destroyed our lives by destroying 21. Some of us just haven't been the same since. YG wanted a pretty version of 21. And if you would like more elaboration on that, I will refer to you these videos that I have made in the past about Blackpink and 21. Anyways, I digress once more. Logically, if you boycott the new group and don't give the new group all of your money, then how is YG going to afford to to keep Blackpink going? I mean, you gotta give your support somewhere. You gotta give some to get some, or just give some to receive nothing, which is, anyways, funky transition. The truth is, I'm actually really excited about 23. Cut that up. Honestly though, if you are mad at this new group, by that very logic, you should also be mad at Blackpink. But we've already established that Blackpink shouldn't suffer for what YG did to 21. So this new girl group shouldn't suffer for what YG did to Blackpink. And that is how YG is going to remain blameless in every single situation. Blame the company, don't blame the group. Don't let the group fail because of the company. But if the group fails, then the company fails. The company has the company's interests at hand. Funky transition. That got way too much. My point is, if you wanted any real change to happen, especially within an institute like YG Entertainment, you'd have to make your favorite group suffer. If the group suffers, then the company suffers. But if the group is thriving, then of course the company that you so hate is going to thrive as well. But of course, no one wants that to happen. No one wants their favorite group to suffer to send the company a message, because that seems kind of counterproductive, even though it really isn't. Supporting any of these groups does unfortunately mean supporting a company that you don't like, that you feel is mistreating the people that you love, whose values that you might not necessarily agree with. We'd also have to get behind the fact that this will likely keep on happening. History has a way of repeating itself, and YG is absolutely no exception to that. So the next point we're going to touch on is the disadvantages of debuting a new girl group under YG Entertainment, notably the social repercussions. We have, of course, seen this with 21 and Blackpink, but let's give a different example to spice things up a little. BTS and TXT. The fame that this new girl group will potentially acquire is 100% going to be blamed on Blackpink. Whatever level of fame that they reach, people are going to say, it's because Blackpink are your seniors. But you just know there's going to be some annoying second gen stans in the corner who are going to be like, well, if Blackpink has all this clout, it's because 21 had the clout before them. So if this new girl group is famous because of Blackpink, it's because Blackpink is famous because of 21. So because of, philosophical thinking, A means B, then by that logic, this new girl group is only famous because of 21. I'm calling it. Because you just know that second gen stans are wild. I'm second gen stans. Of course, among other disadvantages that they're going to face is, of course, lack of creative freedom, not having as many comebacks, being stuck in YG's dungeon. Shall I go on? But you know what? Not everything has to be negative in this situation. So let's touch a little bit about the advantages, which in my notes is actually just like a little paragraph. Other than getting another group whose mistreatment we can bitch about on the internet, we also have a possibility of having potentially maybe more than one comeback a year, or perhaps consistently one comeback per year. That's the end of the paragraph. So that is basically all I had to say. Leave down in the comments below how you feel towards this girl group. If I perhaps added any clarity, or if you still very much feel the very same way. Why did I say very? Or if in the big picture of it all, you think it's just a very smart marketing tactic. So I'm going to leave you guys there. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click the bell to be notified. You can also do little things here and there to help sustain this channel, like liking and commenting and sharing it with friends you don't have, or maybe your parrots. I've heard my voice is quite calming to the to avian animals. No, I'm not unblocking Markley Spears from Twitter, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.